Family, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Good morning. I hope that you are off to an amazing start this Friday, November 7th. We will be live at 10 a.m. This is a pre-show before the party, right? So this is the pre-party. Right now, I'm going to give you my outlook for Alabama's remaining 4 games. And I'm also going to talk some keys to the game going into Saturday. But I first wanted to tell you that I don't know if you saw a video that I did yesterday. I went and got an antenna, right? Like an old school antenna from Best Buy. And the TV that I got was an Insignia 60-mile range HD antenna. I was thinking I was going to Best Buy to get like the TV bunny ears. It wasn't that. It was pretty simple to hook up. I just used the coax cable and I screwed it into the back end. And it might have taken 5 minutes. I mean, anybody could do this. So if you're out there and you're looking for a last minute fix to try to watch Alabama football, this could be it. Honestly, I think I paid $35 and the return policy at Best Buy is like 14 days or whatever. So I really felt I had nothing to lose. And I do still have YouTube TV and I'm kind of hoping that they do resolve it. But I'll tell you what, I do have a Vizio TV, right? It's like a, 3-year-old TV, something like that. But when I plugged the antenna in, it connected to Vizio Free TV. And I'm not kidding you. I probably have, 50 to 85 channels. And I'll tell you what, ABC through this antenna feed is absolutely crystal clear. I have a better picture with the antenna 100% than I did with YouTube TV. So it might be worth checking out an antenna if you are within that 50-mile radius of a bigger city. Like I'm right here in Tuscaloosa, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem. I know some of our viewers might be in a rural area. So what I would suggest is you could still go to the Best Buy route or you could order on Amazon. You just have to get a bigger antenna. My antenna, it's a small antenna, but maybe a range of 150 miles or something like that. So plenty of options, I feel. And of course, I've gotten a lot of feedback that some people are going to Hulu, I think Fubo TV, and then also Sling TV. So there are options. I'm tired of like signing up for new stuff. I do have the ESPN app, so I can watch the app if I want to, but I have heard that the antenna is faster. There's no delay. So I'll check it out, and that's what we're going to rock with for the time being. Alabama and LSU kickoff on Saturday. 6:30, it should be fantastic under the lights. This is what college football is all about, right? You get to this point of the year, and it's big-time SEC football. There is so much on the line between Alabama and LSU, right? On one hand, you have LSU with the interim head football coach, Frank Wilson. They just got rid of Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly is a big-time football coach, right? They're trying to figure out his big-time buyout, trying to figure out where they can go as a program. On the other hand, you have Alabama in its second year under Coach Kalen DeBoer, and DeBoer has Alabama fans really excited that they can make a real run at things, right? Two programs kind of in an opposite direction and an opposite trajectory. Alabama playing at home is absolutely dangerous under Coach Kalen DeBoer. They have yet to lose a football game. They're riding a 16-game home winning streak, which is the longest in the nation. And look, let's face it, this team is one of the hottest teams in all of college football. And I get it. They didn't play their best game against South Carolina, but I don't hold that against them. I have told you that I look to that South Carolina game as more of a positive, being that they were putting a tough position. They had to fight out of the hole that they were in. They did it. They came out on top in a very hostile environment to move to 7-1, and they are now number 4 in the college football playoff rankings. So I'm not mad about where they are placed. They still have work that needs to be done. They have to beat LSU. They have to beat Oklahoma. They have to beat Auburn. They have to beat Eastern Illinois in order to clinch that spot in the SEC championship. So job is not done. A lot of football left. I know it's really exciting to look at this next graphic, which is of the college football playoffs, and think about who they could be playing and all this sort of rat poison, but it all begins Saturday. So while it all begins Saturday, let me give you my outlook for the remainder of these 4 games. And I would imagine that you pretty much agree with me on the outcome. I mean, I think we all would, as they're playing at an incredible level right here. Alabama and LSU. Later on today at 10 a.m., I'll give you my score prediction. I think I'm going to go with something like 31-10 Bama. And I know that the line right now is like 9.5. It might even be 10 or something like that. But I feel that LSU is going to have a hard time moving the football against Alabama's defense. I think that the environment will be a lot. LSU might get theirs. They might hit on a big play. They might hit on a big chunk yardage play, something like that. But overall, I mean, we've continued to see Alabama's defense come up with really big plays and give the offense a lot of momentum. Plus, I think it'll be the same old thing. I think Alabama will be able to come off fresh off a bye week, be able to control time possession. I guess the only thing that I wonder about, and same with you, is like, can this team run the ball? Plain and simple. Are they ever going to be able to establish a running game, or is their run game their high efficiency, short yardage passing? Is that like their running game? It's worth thinking about. So I think Alabama gets out of this game. Let's give it 31-10. So they get the W against LSU. The next game, they take on Oklahoma. I think, is that their homecoming game? It might be their homecoming game. This game does worry me a little bit because Brett Venables, I feel, is a defensive-minded coach who does get it. And let's face it, last year, Oklahoma was a game where Alabama just didn't play well against Oklahoma. Oklahoma came out more prepared. They had weapons, and they utilized the run game, and they ate Alabama up all over the field on each side. What was it, 24-3 or something like that? What was the score of that game? I forget. Oklahoma dominated, and that was a game that I would never have thought that Alabama would have lost to Oklahoma. This year, Oklahoma is probably a better football team than they were last year. I think they have a better defense. They're ranked number 9 in the country as of today on the defensive side of the ball. And John Mateer is getting healthier and healthier. Plus, they have wide receivers that can stretch the field. So when I look to that Oklahoma game, I'm like, wow, that game could be trouble. Now, once again, it is at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Thank goodness. Alabama, let's see how they play against LSU first. But things have been really rolling well for Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So I can't wait to see Ty Simpson and John Mateer. Think about Ty Simpson. That's the other thing, too. Think about the 2 quarterbacks that he's about to go against. These are NFL-type quarterbacks, all 3 of them, right? Like Ty versus Garrett Nussmeier, big-time NFL head-to-head showdown in the future. And then you have Ty Simpson against John Mateer. John Mateer is going to fly off the boards in the NFL draft. So will Ty. So Ty has an opportunity to go against the 2 best quarterbacks in the SEC. I'm pretty sure that these are the top guys in the SEC, right? In terms of the quarterback. I mean, I know Arch is there as well, but he hasn't been as consistent. I mean, it's been kind of more hype, whereas I think a guy like Mateer and a guy like Garrett Nussmeier, those guys have been more consistent through their career, right? So Ty will have an amazing opportunity to go against these 2 guys, as well as Alabama's offense against Oklahoma's defense. I mean, look, in that second game on the 15th, that second conference game on this back-end stretch, Oklahoma is going to come after Ty. Just wait. This is a very active defensive front. They are going to pressure Ty. And if Ty is under duress, we'll see how he fares in a game like that. Then you have that Eastern Illinois game, and I know you're like, it's any given Saturday. I know it is, but let's call it what it is. I mean, Alabama is the big favorite in that one, and a game like this one, you got to make sure that everyone stays healthy. You got to pull away by halftime, and if there's an opportunity where other quarterbacks can come in that game, what are we going to see from Keelan Russell? What are we going to see from Austin Mack now that they've had more opportunities to develop during this season, right? Where are they at from a talent and a schematic standpoint? Maybe some other players that we haven't seen as much on the offensive side, like an A.K. Deere, or maybe an emergence of like a Jalen Mbakwe, a Derek Meadows. You see what I'm saying? Like other guys. How are those guys going to rise up when their number is called? The back-end game always scares me. It doesn't matter who the head football coach is. It doesn't matter what's going on. And when this game is in Tuscaloosa, I feel very confident about it. It's just like these other games. You're like, Alabama will take care of them. But when the game is at Auburn, I've seen it. I've seen the voodoo. It's like if you're out there and you've like seen a ghost, everyone's like, no, I don't believe in ghosts. But if you like seen a ghost, you believe it's real. Coach Saban knows. He was like, that place is haunted. I've seen the same thing. First year covering Alabama football, it was 2017. Alabama was absolutely rolling everybody. They went to Auburn. I had never, ever, ever seen Alabama be pushed around, beat up in the trenches. It was when Kevin Steele was coaching the defense. That team beat Alabama, and thankfully Alabama still got into the playoffs and eventually won the championship game. They didn't even have to play in the SEC title game. But, yeah, that game scares me on the back end. I do feel that Alabama is able to win out the remainder of its 4 games. But I look to, of course, Saturday will present its challenges just because of the athletes and the quarterback that you have with LSU. Oklahoma, as I said, very active defense and a damn good quarterback. And then that back end one, it's scary. I mean, we are not done. We didn't get to this point. We're not on top of, like, the mountain, okay? You can kind of see maybe the top, but it's like we are so far from reaching anything that is worth putting in a trophy case. Seriously, you are. So game by game, but you got to think going down the rest of the stretch, Alabama should be able to manage and take care of a very difficult back end of a schedule. Keys to the game. If you caught my Thursday show, I went over a couple of these items, and I feel that it starts and ends with the play of Ty Simpson. His overall stats right now, 20 touchdowns and 1 interception. This is crazy, right? It's like if you zoom out and you look to what he's been able to do through the first 8 games of the season, it's really ridiculous. Like this is, we haven't had a quarterback do something like this in 8 games. And I've been covering the team now for almost a decade. So I think Tua had more touchdowns, but he threw a couple more interceptions. But overall, his touchdown to interception ratio is ridiculous, okay? And his high efficiency passes when they're, kind of under 20 yards, it's dangerous. Plus, he really hasn't even shown that he can run the ball if he has to, and he absolutely can. As Coach Saban said, he has legs that work. As always, you're going to hear me be a broken record about the time of possession. If Alabama wins the time of possession handedly on Saturday, they dominate, okay? The only way to beat this team is if you're able to create turnovers, which they don't turn the ball over, and if you control the time of possession. If you're able to do those 2 things and maybe get after the quarterback, you can beat Alabama, maybe, and you get them to, like, miss a field goal or something like that. Those are, like, the 4 things that you got to do to have a legitimate shot. If you do like one of those, 4 things or even 2 of them, you're not going to beat them because they win the turnover margin. They control the time of possession. You see what I'm saying? And they just have done a great job in all of those aspects this season. So you have to be able to beat Alabama in those 4 facets. I don't feel that Alabama will get into a shootout with LSU. They really haven't even been into a shootout this year. I'd be kind of curious to see if, Ryan Grubb and Ty Simpson, if they did get into a shootout, like what would that offense look like? We really haven't seen it. Think about it. We've seen kind of more of a controlled, first down by first down approach. We haven't seen Alabama just straight off, like throw off the gloves and like come out and, get it on. We've seen kind of a lightning mode a couple times and them being active in that 2-minute drill, I guess, against South Carolina. But other than that, we really haven't seen them in a street fight. Creating turnovers, clearly that's something that you have to do. I think in a game like this, you come out and you get an interception or something like that against John Mateer. Garrett Nussmeier, that's certainly going to turn the momentum when you have a crowd. You saw with Xavier Brown. Once Xavier Brown returned that interception against Tennessee, everybody started smoking the cigars. So that's what a big turnover does. And then get to the quarterback. Paging 42. One of the stats that I love right now that's floating around is Yanzi Pierre and LT Overton are responsible for 46% of the sacks on this team, right? Alabama has 15 sacks. These guys have 7 sacks. So 42, I know you guys are very excited about Quay Russaw coming back, and he will come back in time. But Yanzi Pierre, hard to keep him off the field, right? don't get fancy inside the red zone. You don't need to have Caden Proctor throwing a pass or, running a reverse. You got running backs. You got skilled wide receivers. You got the fanciest thing I want to see is maybe like Jeremy Bernard at Wildcat. But, let's get the ball into the end zone and kind of get the hell out of here. I don't want to see Caden Proctor running a reverse or throwing something to Ryan Williams. I mean, that was cool in kind of that first half. But now we're starting to look towards a major part of the season. We can't have any of those guys go down with injuries doing something fancy inside the red zone. And then at the end of the day, you just got to win, right? It doesn't matter if you win 31-10. It doesn't matter if you win. I guess it would be nice if you won 38-0 or something like that. But you see what I'm saying? Just win. 100% just win. When you look at the college football playoff bracket that was just recently released, I think everything kind of shook out the way we thought it would. I guess the only thing that's bothering me right now that I keep talking about is like BYU and Texas Tech being inside that top 12. I understand each of those teams, BYU's undefeated and Texas A&M has one loss. But the good thing is they play this weekend. So one of those teams is going to exit the Big 12 standings and kind of fall out of the college football playoff rankings. I just feel like my argument is, like, imagine how you feel if, like, and I know Texas hasn't been the most consistent team, but they just beat Vanderbilt. Imagine how a team like Texas or Vanderbilt or another like Tennessee, right? And I know Tennessee, they've lost 3 conference games, so they can't really stand on anything. But I bet if I was to ask you, would Tennessee, Vanderbilt, or Texas, could those teams win the Big 12? Even Oklahoma, right? Would those teams win the Big 12? Would those teams win the ACC? I think so, right? Or if those teams had the same schedule as Notre Dame, right, where would they fare? And that's where Notre Dame is probably the team that makes me the most mad because they figured it out. They don't play a conference championship game. They get to keep all that money when they make it to the college football championship to themselves. They don't have to split it with other independent teams like all the other teams do. And they already lost 2 games. I get it. They lost a 1-point game to A&M, who's undefeated, and they also lost to Miami, who's now a 2-loss team. But still, I just feel that maybe next year's rule, you got to play in a conference that has a championship game to be able to make the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe that would be one of the only rules that I might add to all of this. Who's going to have a big game this weekend? I asked you that. You can go ahead and type inside the comment box. Type A for Ryan Williams, B for Lazier Brooks, C for Daniel Hill, D for Yanzi Pierre, and type mustard for Dejon Lee. I feel that Ryan Williams kind of due for a big game, and I know everyone's really excited about the freshman Lazier Brooks coming back, but we can't forget the type of playmaking ability that Ryan Williams has. And I know he's going to play. I don't even know what's up with him, but he's going to play. And I think that Alabama hasn't really had a lot of big plays. I could see him having a big play in this type of game. So I probably either go A, but I think I'll first go with D. Yanzi Pierre has been playing, as I was saying earlier in the video, this guy is on an absolute tear. There's no way, I don't think, when Quay Russo comes back that he just jumps in front of the line of Yanzi Pierre. I don't think you just have to pick one or the other, but you can't take Yanzi off the field. This guy is playing one of the best defenders in all of college football. Keep 42 on the field at all costs. This guy is an absolute menace. So give me a sack or 2 on Saturday from Yanzi Pierre, which will be as equal to an 80-yard touchdown from Ryan Williams. I think it'll be that big. For Alabama's injury report, nothing changed as of Thursday night. You have Quay Russo out. You know that Dre Kirkpatrick's dealing with some legal stuff. That's why he's out. Caden Jones, he's hurt. Jeremiah Beeman, he's been done since the beginning of the season. You have Danny Lewis, who is questionable. You have probable Ryan Williams, still probable. And then I put Isaiah Horton and Lazier Brooks as healthy. Look, the guys were banged up last game, but I think it's important that people know that they are healthy. And people are like, why you put them on the report? Well, they were out last game, and Coach Kalen DeBoer's been talking about it. So I get it. Not everybody follows things as closely with a microscope. A couple games that we were watching this Saturday. You got BYU taking on Texas Tech. Who do you feel wins this game? Do you feel it's going to be BYU? Do you feel it's going to be Texas Tech? Texas Tech actually a 10.5-point favorite Saturday in Lubbock. You also have Oregon taking on Iowa. I have pointed out several times that Oregon does not really have a quality win this year. Their best win is against Penn State in overtime, beating Iowa, probably much needed for the Oregon Ducks. And then you have Navy taking on Notre Dame. Navy atop the AAC taking on Notre Dame. Notre Dame will benefit greatly, once again, if they are able to take care of the midshipmen, which I think they will on Saturday. All right, for my sleeper picks, we did this on Thursday, but I'll rerun it again. Garrett Nussmeier in this game by sleeper, favored to throw for 223 yards. It's been difficult for quarterbacks to throw for over 220 yards against Alabama's secondary. I asked you on Thursday. A lot of people felt you're going to go under. I don't know. They got weapons, so I'm not going to go against the undefeated. So I'll still stay low, and I'll say under. Ty Simpson at 268. He's thrown for over 250 yards 6 times this season, but 268, I think that might be a little bit much. I'll go under again. Harlem Berry for LSU, 43 yards. I think I might take the over on this one. Sometimes Alabama allows chunk yardage plays. I don't think he runs for 100 yards, but he'll probably run for like 46 or something like that. And then for Jam Miller, 52 yards is probably one of the toughest ones because you're probably thinking, well, it's going to be Jam Miller, it's going to be Kevin Riley, it's going to be Jeremy Bernard, it's going to be Caden Proctor, it's going to be Ty Simpson. Jam Miller, 52 and a half. Man, this is a tough one. I'll take until Alabama consistently is running like for 60, 70, 80 yards of the quarterback. I will go under on that one. All right. Last thing, I got LT Overton and Yanzi Pierre. I just want to give another shout out to this duo because these guys are absolutely bringing it. LT Overton has 4 quarterback hurries and 3 sacks. Let's not forget about LT. You could even type in LT inside the comment box. And then Yanzi Pierre has 8 hurries and 4 quarterback sacks. Hey, fam, I hope you get off to a great start this Monday. Hey, fam, I hope you get off to a great start this Friday. And if you are at the gym, if you're on your way to work, if you're just kind of getting your day started, if you're brushing your teeth, if you're making eggs for the kids, stay blessed, stay focused. This is going to be a beautiful day that God has given you. So be grateful for the time that you have. Right now is life. Okay. I was just reading this thing and it was talking about today is life. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. All right, like right now, like this is the present time that we have, right? And I think sometimes in life, if you have kind of sadness, you might be living in the past. And if you have anxiety, you might be living too much in the future. So be here. Be where your feet are at. If you're drinking coffee, enjoy your coffee. If you're just stretching out and you're getting ready for your day, if you got a meeting coming up, embrace it. Embrace the challenge. Embrace your life. Take a deep breath, breathe it in, enjoy this feel-good Friday because on Saturday, we got work to do as Alabama and LSU coming to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Hey, fam, I appreciate you guys so much. More than you would ever know. I could never, ever tell you how grateful I am for you as a viewer, as a listener. So thank you so much. Please smash the hell out of that thumbs up button. And I will catch you live at 10 a.m. Today is a call-in show. I will take your score predictions, and we will have a great time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Good morning, fam, and thanks for waking up right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam.